Winning the interviews, part 2. Winning of one interview is not enough, but we have to win all the interviews. It's not easy. Uh, in this part, I'm going to give you few tips on how to win interviews. First, we have to do a lot of homework. Sometimes the interviewer is desperate to hire the candidates due to some sudden vacancy, or somebody must have resigned. Okay, so when you are interviewed at that time, and the playground is yours, so you can easily get an interview, selected in that. The other time, they already might have made up their mind, but they have to take somebody, and then it's like they do it for a formality. So that times, whatever you struggle, you may not make it. And the other times, there will be a lot of candidates, and then they'll be probing each one, and if they find a better candidate, they definitely will take it. Some good or big companies, they do this because sometimes they don't want to miss the right candidates. Even if the position is filled, they still want to take it. So that is also we have to find out if the company is good, and then the interview or the owners are got a long-term plans. They would recruit. Now you need to know which type of interview you are, attending, and then plan accordingly. So for that you have to do a little bit of homework. I attended all types of interviews, but sometimes you know it, sometimes you don't know it. Earlier, in the last episode, we talked about a position which is closed, and then they denied the, to offer, and I have taken a challenge, and I got that this one. So let me explain that offer, how I got it. I offered a proposal, or I would say challenged the interviewer, saying that I would work for a month and then prepare the quotation for the project which they were preparing for a company. Luckily for me, that company I worked earlier, so I told them that this is a $1 million project, so let's not take chances. So I'll prepare the proposal, and then once we get it, then you decide whether you want to hire me or not. They accepted that offer, and then I went on to work for a longer time than required. The point is that you are willing to take a risk. Okay, I'll share with you one famous oil company contract. This is a South American company in somewhere in 50s, 60s. They have asked for quotation from multinationals like BP, Shell, and Mobil. So there was one guy who has not even established name. Today they are Sun Oil company. So he also went for that quotation. And what he did was he went about a week early to the country, and then was watching a TV, and there was a huge debate going on about this some shortage of grains. So they were looking for a shipment of grains from somewhere, Europe or somewhere. So when he got that hang of it, then in the interview, Sun Oil proposed that for the oil drilling rights, he would arrange grains for the country. In the cabinet, when they were comparing the bids from other giants like Shell Oil and British Petroleum, Mobil, etc. So everybody preferred this offer from Sun Oil because he has, promised to get a shipment of grains, and probably this could have been arranged by some other people also, but they were not aware of the what do you call it, requirement. And the similar one, I would say, how Americans have grabbed the oil drilling rights in Saudi Arabia in 1930. So basically, what I'm talking about is not a grabbing a contract or something. In the interview, you have to understand what the interviewer is looking for, and if the interviewer is looking for a bright candidate, uh, probably you may not have the relevant experience, but still they would prefer qualified candidates. I recall one of our friends' father. He was a director in Air India. So one day I asked him, why do you recruit these postgraduates in other branches of engineering when in the airlines don't need this qualification? His answer was a eye opener for me. What he said was, we are not recruiting for this person at an engineer level. Uh, then I said, that's what you are going to offer. He said, yes, sure. But we are looking at him after 20, 30 years, whether he could head a department or a section or a maintenance, so that his education qualification and broad technical knowledge would be useful in taking decisions. So this is where at higher positions people will be useful. They look for qualification, they look for brightness, they look for initiative, and of course, above all, the integrity. And there will be what you call as occasions where interviewer himself will do will disclose that. I'll share with you one interview I had joined in a famous Shell company. There was a guy called Andy who was a science graduate, and he was doing taking care of the water treatment of this plant. And for some reason, he was little bit overconfident, and then he demanded something unusual. So they have the company has rejected it. So Andy resigned. So I have was to be hired for in this position. For my good luck would have it, I came to know that they were desperate to hire that person one in Andy's place. So, in fact, though I have mentioned that I didn't have experience in petrochemicals because I was with refining experience, my interviewer, who was a doctorate himself in a different field, nuclear technology, he said, no, you would, with your experience in post-graduation and experience in refining, you would foot the bill. So the interview went on in a reverse gear, where I was talking to him that I don't have this experience, but then, he started backing me up, saying that yes, this is relevant. So what I'm telling is that in interview, having done a homework will always help. And other than that, earlier we talked about in the interview that you should not overemphasize your suitability to the company. At the same time, wait for the clues what the interviewer is giving. Sometimes interviewer would be a little bit impatient, saying that you have anything else to tell and something like that. And instead of saying I don't have anything to say, what probably I would suggest is that are you looking for anything else, right? So no, it's and then sometimes they ask you a question, is there anything which you want to ask? They said, okay, this position, how it leads to, the next, the future of this the career. These are the things which would probably give an idea to the interviewer that you are interested in a long-term stay in the company. Also, if they have a problem, and then unless they tell you that they have a problem, and then don't give a solution for the problem. Sometimes this may look very good on surface of it, but I will tell you many times being extra smart is not liked by the interviewers. And also, when you are giving a solution to their problem, what you are telling is that you are not able to get it. So yeah, you have to be a little bit humble and modest, saying that did you try this, did you try that, that kind of a suggestive advice would be better. Then winning all the interviews is what the title says. Actually, what does it mean is that winning the heart of the interviewer is more important, and the job would definitely, will be yours. All the best. This is actually covered in the, I think, fourth chapter of my book, How to Double Your Salary. So all the best for all the youngsters and even experienced people for the interview. This is Rajsekhar, Polapragada.